It's a great day to be a Coyote. Welcome, Coyote Nation, to another episode of Back to Pack Podcast, where we are going to be bringing you all of your favorite games, memories, and of course, discussion with our fellow Coyotes. As a disclaimer, we have no affiliation to the University of South Dakota. This is a podcast ran by fans for fans. The ideas and comments do not represent the university. Our opinions are our own. Be sure to find us on Twitter at BackToPackSD. That being said, let's jump in. Gentlemen, I feel like it's been a few days since we've seen each other.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a little excitement over the weekend. Impromptu, anyways.
I honestly, at this point, if you looked up the definition of FOMO, I think it'd just be that trip.
Oh,
For you,
100%.
not for Grant and I. That was all you.
Fair
That's
enough.
true. I mean, I FOMO'd myself to start this. I guess we should tell how this all unfolded, right?
I mean, you lead the way, buddy. It was all you on that one.
Well, I'll say I'll give the oh yeah, there it is. There's
No,
the
geez, we just planned.
we're just gonna jump in, right? We're just gonna jump into it. I'm sitting at my desk at about what 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock on Friday, and I'm looking at the calendar. Nothing planned for Saturday. Slow day. Friday afternoon in the office. So I text Mitch and Jake and I say, if I drive, would you guys want to jump in the car and go to Cedar Falls tomorrow? And a little bit of time went by, and Mitch said, "Yep, I'm in." Jake initially came back and said, sorry, I can't tomorrow. I said, all right, Mitch, we're going for it. Fast forward to about 8 p.m. I get a call from Jake, and he says, where are you guys sitting at? Where are your tickets at? I'm coming with. And then and off we left at 6:30 a.m. from Sioux Falls. So
FOMO. Let's go.
did.
No, I'm glad we did. It was fantastic.
It was a good trip. Yeah, and obviously the result is exactly what we needed.
Yep. Mitch, you got what was supposed to be my replacement?
Oh, I do, but I don't have it handy right now.
Oh, dang it.
I do have it. That might make I don't know, might make an appearance at some point in the near
That's
future.
Gonna have to make a tailgate appearance.
I was gonna say, because that's unless you're driving to Southern Illinois, I don't know if there's gonna be a situation where we're not gonna be at a game together.
Right, that would be
but
it.
We'll need one in a couple weeks of Grant now,
or a playoff game. You never know.
That's true. And for people listening, we're talking about, if you're familiar with Flat Stanley, we had a flat Jake made thinking he wasn't going to make the trip, and we were going to make sure that he did make the trip via cardboard cutout.
Absolutely.
Dude, it was going to be hilarious, but you came, so it was all good.
Oh, that's right. I left out that part of the story. Hold on, I got to tell everybody. So Jake calls me and says, "Hey, where are you guys sitting? I think I'm in." And so Jake goes, "Okay, I'm going to text the group." And I said, No. Just jump in the car with me. We'll pick up Mitch. We met Mitch closer to Sioux City, actually in Jefferson. And so I said, don't even say anything to Mitch. Mitch thinks it's just Grant and Mitch. And I pull up, and who's sitting in the front seat? Jake. Mitch
waving at me.
Waving at him, and Mitch gives us a what the you know what.
Hey, don't forget, we had Grove Street party banging too as we pulled up.
Grove Street party banging as we get into the gas station at 8 o'clock. We're ready to rock. I love it.
Let's go.
6 pee breaks later, we finally made it to you and I.
That's right. We road tripping. I had about 40 ounces of coffee, so I stopped about every hour for us. Mitch and Jake really appreciated that, but we made it.
Especially when we stopped at the Holstein gas station where under cleaning, and the only one was the family bathroom. And
every gas station was under construction we stopped at, both there and back. It seemed like I was going to work on the gas station construction projects.
You had impeccable decision making there and gas station picks. Good Lord.
Yep. But you know what? It was absolute blast, and I would not have traded it for anything. That was one to remember. Obviously, it wasn't, we won 17-14 kind of game, but you know what? It was kind of one of the best games I've been to in a long, long time.
Well,
absolutely.
That's what we said too. It was important. It was important that the Coyotes won, because that trip back would have been a lot less fun had they lost. So we always hear the teams talk about bus rides home on a win versus a loss, and we were in that same boat. But
same boat.
Yeah, we had a ton of fun. first time I've ever been to the Unidome. I thought it's a cool venue. It's got a little Dakota Dome vibes, as we've talked about before, but good venue. People were nice. I think, yeah, and overall it was a good game. Kind of a grinder like we all kind of predicted. We'll obviously hit on that later, but
Yep.
overall, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I
So
do
hey,
think,
real quick, I just want to welcome in the audience
Yeah.
too. We got a ton of comments already, but
absolutely.
yeah, we got the typicals in here. You got Yote Fan, you got Matt, you got Sarah, you got Ray,
Yep.
and then hey, how about a new one here?
Yeah, welcome, Peter.
Love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Oh yeah, this is a blast every Monday and Thursday, so be sure to check us out. And
Yeah.
hey, while you're here, if you can follow along and go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can get notifications too while you're hanging out.
Absolutely.
But you might as well hit on who's in these pictures with us, because we got, one of the OGs for the
Yes.
fans here. We got Ray in the top with us. And then, of
We
course,
got a chance to meet in person for the first time.
First
At least
time
for
ever.
me, it was.
That's been a long time coming, by the
That
way.
has
Yeah, we've
been
been
100%.
been waiting for that one. And then down in the bottom here, we got the one and only Matt Kogel here. Absolute blast hanging out with him in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad he came and sat by us. That was sweet.
Oh yeah, we got rowdy in that little section there.
Which I don't think we sat actually. I don't think we sat for one play the whole game.
No,
Why?
there's
Why sit?
nobody
We had
behind. There's nobody behind us. We're in the front row. It was great.
It was so empty.
It was awesome.
Yep.
All right, here we go. 17-14. Like we said, hey, we warned everybody, by the way, on the preview show on Thursday night. We warned everybody this was going to be a grinder. It wasn't going to be a pretty game. There wasn't going to be a ton of points. So here we are, 17-14. But before we dive in real quick, guys, just a quick peek at Alex's Lemonade Stand. We didn't have much going on this weekend because it was an away game. Jake, do we sell any beef raffle tickets?
Not since the last update on this one, but we are going to hit it hard this week. You're going to see a lot of posting on it because we're winding down here. And then I did actually talk to a couple Yote fans at UNI. They said they're going to stop by the tailgate and cash in. So
sweet.
Yeah,
we still have a sizable lead, but hey, we got to finish strong. Make sure we secure this victory.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like always, the Jelly Oat shots will be showing up at tailgate for the next 3 weeks. So we're going to really be able to build this gap again.
Perfect. All right, real quick. We did have last week we had the guest ring family coming in with some purchases too. So
absolutely.
You do have, what did you say? 60 plus tickets sold already for this beef raffle?
Yep. So 40 right here. And then we have 20. Yeah. 62.
Okay.
So
that's sweet. So yeah, just remind everybody real quick on the raffle.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is fantastic. Former Coyote basketball player, Trevor Gruis here in the Gruis Farms are donating 2 quarter cows. So we got half a cow. We're splitting it into quarters, and then that'll be raffled off on live show November 3rd. With that, there's 3 ways that you can donate to buy tickets, and that would be through donations directly to Alex's Lemonade Stand with proof sent to me. Then we also have Venmo that you can send directly to me at backpack_SD or cash at tailgates. Tickets are 1 for $20, 3 for $50, or 10 for $100. And Matt, you're part of those 62.
Perfect.
I didn't forget.
Oh, we got President Gestring hopping in the comments here.
She's worried about freezer space, as am I.
Absolutely.
Yes, I agree.
I agree. We need
a few more tickets bought to maybe hope somebody else can win.
Yeah, we need to sell out here right now, so make sure it makes it a little tougher for the guest strings to take it home.
That's right. I'm gonna have to buy a couple more.
Yep.
All right. Let's go to our show outline. Just to remind the fine folks, we're going what stood out, where do the Yotes need to improve, and who were the players of the game. So
sounds great.
Let's take a peek here. Said 17-14 final. Guys, this wasn't a ton of offense like we mentioned, but we had a 10-7 lead at halftime. We're going to get into all of this, and Fenner had a good day. But before we get into that, guys, the Carney family coming through in the clutch, man. 17-14, calling their shot. Pat, shout out to you. Got to give you your flowers tonight because you nailed it. He did predict Will the Thrill game winner, so he was off on the kicker, but perfect on the score.
The one thing to be off on is at least just the that it was Motto over Will is so funny to me. But that's awesome. Yeah, the exact
Yes.
score prediction is unbelievable.
The good news is it wasn't a last-second field goal like he predicted. So
Yeah,
Right.
we'll take that win.
it was the last second of the half.
And I will say I had a heck of special team defense going for the Yotes because I leaned over to you guys and said how funny would it be if he doinked this.
Yes, you
So-
Yeah.
did.
Mhm.
Yep. I
And,
blocked that with my words.
We were joking that he bent the goalpost on that one. He hit it so hard.
He
Yes,
100%
dude, he
did.
smoked it hard. That bounced a long ways.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to a couple of just kind of what stood out here, guys. This one was obvious, but LJ
Easy
crossing
one,
the 1,000 mark. It didn't take him long in this game to get there. And so, you can see, I'm not going to read through all those stats there, but you can see some of the information up there. He's the third coyote to get there. It's in the FCS era. And then how about Zeke Mata, man? School record, 58-yard field goal as time expires in the first half, and that ended up being the difference in the game.
And I'm just gonna say, Coach, he's got a couple more yards in him. Let him fly.
Yeah, I think that was good from 60.
Mm-hmm.
Just about to say that I feel pretty comfortable trotting Zeke out there for any field goal that starts with a 5. 59, you start to get to 60. I think there's a shot, but it is kind of exciting though, right? I mean, you get in these close games and know that you at least have that at your disposal. We even saw it too, because with his field goal, if you remember, the offense was kind of hanging around. Zeke was over warming up in front of us, and it was kind of last minute where finally the coaches said, Zeke, get out there, right? So it's, you're kind of trying to decide depending on the situation. So great tool to have. So happy for him.
He was warming up right in front of us guys on the sideline before that. And Grant, you kind of mumbled, "Go get him, Tiger."
Yeah.
He trotted out.
Yeah, you got to give him a little pep talk on the way out there, right?
I thought that was hilarious. No, good stuff. Good stuff. Absolutely phenomenal. And with Zeke, guys, you watch him in warmups, he's hitting the 60 plus. 65 yarders in the dome. And so, yeah, we know he's got it in him. And all 3 of his career field goals are over 50. So that's fantastic.
And I will say this, with where we sat right by the kicker's net, like we've been talking these guys up. Like we know they can boot it, but sitting next to them while they're kicking into the net as hard as they can sounds like a shotgun going off next to us.
Yeah.
They got cannons.
A cannon, just kaboom. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and I thought this was a cool picture too. LJ tweeted this out, but a picture of him and the lineman. I thought that was really, really sweet and giving them a lot of credit, which he does all the time. And, none of this happens without those boys. So I thought that was cool.
All right. And we're going to have some fun with this. So in reality, LJ started 6 games to get to 1,000 yards. If anybody can name the running back to get to 1,000 yards faster than that, you got a free beer waiting for you at the tailgate. So, no Googling, even though I Googled.
Wait, so what am I trying to guess? I'm trying to guess.
Figure out which running back got to 1,000 yards faster than LJ doing it in just 6 games.
Is this a coyote or just in general?
In general.
Okay.
Obviously, we've only had 2 other coyotes go over 1,000.
Are we talking like a college running back?
College.
Mm.
So you can think on it a little bit. But yeah, so and we'll come back to it. This is like the Affleck question during ESPN games. So
All right.
We'll come back to it.
I'm going to stew on that one for a while. I'll let it distract me the rest of the show.
Yep, it's going to bother him this entire thing. In reality, the game went for the most part how we predicted. Obviously, we thought we'd see a little bit more points on the board by the Coyotes, but we knew every point was going to be earned against UNI. They have a phenomenal defense, and I'm nervous for what they're going to be like in the couple of years with the way the coach is going. Obviously, they're going to be a little dirtier, but it is what it is.
I'll say UNI is kind of always known for that. Like the game between us and them seems to always have a little bit of that.
Yep, exactly. And I mean, I obviously we already have enough rivalries with the states and with UND, but throwing UNI in there, it seems like we play them every year. It's always a intense game, except for last year. I'm okay with kind of getting a little rivalry going.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So what else stood out, guys? Like, looking at the offense, the stats and stuff. I mean, we can dissect that if you want, but just kind of in general, what stood out to you in this game?
Yeah, I think the one thing that kind of stood out to me, especially as I started to kind of look back on the box score, is that although the offensive numbers were not like eye popping or off the chart, it was a really efficient day from the offense for the most
Yeah.
part. So, like LJ, for example, with the 73 yards, he did that on 15 carries, so he still averaged 5 yards a carry, um, which is great. And then even Aiden, I thought he had a really nice day, 16 of 24, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. So
Mm-hmm.
I like that trend, and I think if we can continue to be that efficient, we're going to play teams that are going to give us more opportunities than you and I did. You and I wanted to slow the game down, hold on to the ball. We knew it was going to be kind of a meat grinder game.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of my 10,000-foot view on the offensive side of things. And then I would say defensively again, we stayed pretty stout. Bend don't break kind of defense that we've seen from Johansson for years now. The one thing that's becoming concerning, at least in my opinion, over the last couple of weeks, is the amount of penalties that we've been committing, um, and kind of foolish ones, right? Like we're talking after the
Mm-hmm.
play type
Yep.
penalties, false starts, like those things got to get cleaned up. And it's weird because we are actually the least penalized team, or one of the least penalized teams for the first 4 or 5 games of the season. All of a sudden, this last 2 3 weeks, we've really had the penalties laid on us, and that was from a game perspective. You can see it here on the screen. Like both teams had 10 penalties each, and it was a
Mm-hmm.
nightmare fourth quarter trying to get through the game with penalty after penalty after penalty.
Mm.
So that was a little painful. But overall, I think there's some good things to take away, some things that you can clean up. But we keep saying it week after week. We got to clean them up now. It's got to
Mm-hmm.
happen now. Every opponent's getting better every week for the rest of the schedule here.
Jake, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, at one point there was literally 3 penalties called in a row, and then you and I somehow getting gifted 30 yards in one play without running a play
Yep.
was frustrating. The refs definitely turned it into a show, but the good news is, for the most part, it was even. Both had 10 penalties. Situation spots definitely changed how many yards per, but the refs made it tough. I think it everything performed the way we wanted to. We needed a few more points on the box score to feel better, but I'm not surprised. I think is the easiest way to describe it.
Yeah, and I'll just say, we mention this all the time, but like road valley games, guys, they're tough to win. And so
Yep.
we expected this. And I agree, Grant, to your point about the penalties. Like we got to get some of that stuff cleaned up. And just in general, this game didn't have a lot of flow because there was 3-and-outs. You had a lot of punts. You had a lot of penalties. You had a lot of targeting calls. It was really, really wonky that way. And so I don't think either team could really get in much of a rhythm offensively. We hit some of the big plays to Fenner, but and LJ didn't have any big runs. Grant, he had nice runs, but nothing big. They really contained that, and so it just didn't have a lot of flow and a lot of excitement that way. But it is what it is. Looking at Aiden, like you said, Grant, I think you rattled this off already, but yeah, very efficient day from him. LJ as well. Didn't get to 100, but just a nice day for him. And then Fenner, guys. Fenner continues to pop. I mean,
Yeah.
You just throw it up, right? Just throw it up. Fenner's open somewhere down there. That's kind of the strategy.
Yep, and legitimately that first touchdown, I mean, Aiden had a dude barreling down on him, so he had to float it. And how long did that ball sit in the air? It felt like it took
forever.
45 seconds to get there. And so, yeah, I mean, the picture shows it. It was a fantastic catch by Fenner. He's continuing to impress. He only has 17 catches on the season, but he has 7 touchdowns.
That's crazy.
Absolutely wild stat.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I'm curious to see too, is that now that, because this is really, I would call it Fenner's breakout year, right? Just because he hadn't had a lot of reps in previous years. Based off of what he's done throughout this year so far, I get the feeling that teams are going to have to start planning around him a little bit to say, like, we can't let that guy get loose, or we can't let that guy get going. So I almost wonder too if we're going to start to see teams kind of focus in on him, which is going to open up a lot of opportunities for some of those other receivers. But until we see that, I think it's still, I think it's still the Fenner show out on the numbers.
Absolutely.
I did like
Yeah.
that we spread it out a little bit more, guys, in terms of the receiving game. You saw that early too. We took some kind of underneath stuff and kind of spread it out on that first drive, a lot of play action because I think they were kind of stacking the box, selling out to stop the run. But I really like that we did spread it out a little bit here in this game because we talked about that in the preview show, wanting to see the passing game a little bit more in this game, just knowing they were going to stop the run. I think we did see that to some degree.
It was really nice to see Jesse step up in the absence of Whitty. He did well. I thought he played pretty well as a tight end.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a surprise, right? Whitty in the boot. We didn't know that was coming.
And then, we'll jump into it right now. First, I'll answer the question. We'll come back to the Aflac trivia question here for everyone. I'm going to say this, that everyone in the comments did overthink this, actually. And this was going to...
Do I get a guess before you say it?
Throw it out there.
I'm going to go with Adrian Peterson.
Oh, that was my guess. Dang it.
See, and even you went too far back, actually.
Oh, too far back. Oh, I was
Wow.
about to say OJ, but never mind.
Was it the Boise State? Was it Genty?
It was Genty.
Ah.
Genty did it last season in 5 games.
Yeah, you're right.
He tied it then with Leonard Fournette, who is still too far back for almost everybody here. So Ricky Williams actually did it in 5 games as well. Fun facts for everyone.
Run.
Nice.
Monte was not showing up on there, Kirch. So
Dang.
This is also, I'm going based off of Google, and this is a very limited search mid-show, just so everyone is aware.
Hey, the servers are down. Went down today. You could be getting bad info on there.
Right.
But now getting into it, one thing I really want to say, and I'm so excited that I get a chance to say it, get to talk about this guy. The first, friend of the podcast, Jacob Arobe.
Yes, let's go.
First career start. I'm so proud of this guy. He's been working hard. It's getting there. And I mean, he was rewarded for it, obviously, with Wolf being out, and you never want injuries. You don't want it to get a start because of an injury. The 2 things I'm going to say first, as a casual fan that watched the game, I did not notice him. And that is an absolute compliment.
That's a good thing for a lineman. Yes.
That is
a lineman.
That's
a great thing.
Mm-hmm. As somebody that started freaking out the moment I saw him run out with the starters, I noticed him. But it's all in a good way. I've never been this cued into a lineman in my life before, but I was watching him like crazy. And you take away, he had 2 false starts and 1 sack, which it was just an awkward rush that he wasn't prepared for as the guy delayed it a little bit. I was thoroughly impressed.
For his first start, yes. His first start, that's a very nice job. And again, surprise, right? We didn't know that was coming.
Nope. It was one of the 2 surprises. We were told that we might see a couple new starters out there going into it. Didn't know any facts or anything like that, but they showed up, and I think both of them, the 2 that we noticed, did a great job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I'm going to say the first friend of the podcast, really.
Yep, I agree.
Especially player-wise.
Yeah. He was one of our first players ever on this show too, and highest recruit at USD for football. So yeah, no, love Jacob. So how about defense, Grant? Let's look at defense real quick because Nate Ewell, guys, I got a text message early in this game saying Nate Ewell was getting chewed out on the sidelines on that first drive, and he goes on to lead the team in tackles. So whatever words were said to him on that first drive got him going and ended up leading the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had a huge day. Obviously, you can see the stat sheet. And then, boy, the name that I feel like we kept saying over and over again during the game for a lot of good reasons. But Chris Dixon had a great game as well. I feel like he's
huge game,
one that just keeps getting better and better every time. So big Chris Dixon. He's a fun player to watch, but.
He's really developing.
Yeah. Say Caden Crawford too, right? I mean, I think he had 2 sacks. 2 sacks you can see down there. So yeah, there's defensively a lot of big plays that way. You can see all the tackles for losses and the production there. So again, good to see that there's a lot of production throughout the lineup too, because as we know, we're getting a little banged up, just like everyone is this time of year. So you're going to need folks to step up in certain spots. And I think we've got the depth on defense to where it's not super concerning if certain guys are out. Like, for example, we've got Hardman who's going to be out, or I believe it was Hardman who was
Hardman's out for half a game.
half the game pending appeal. I assume we're going to appeal it. We'll see, but I never hold my breath on that stuff. So, yeah, perfect example there. Going to have guys step up, but I like the depth that we've got on defense right now.
I'll say this. I expected the appeal to go through for Wade and his get waived off. I don't have a good feeling on this one. I know they're.
Did you get to rewatch? Did you get to rewatch that? Because I haven't went back and looked at that.
I rewatched it, and funny enough to all the fans that are listening with us, this play for Hardman happened like right in front of us. Like the player ended up laying on the ground right below us.
Yep.
And they came on and said the previous plays under review for targeting, and we all looked at each other like,
"What?" Yeah, I don't think a single person in the building thought that targeting was in the mix at all for that one. So it was super, super strange. Happened so fast. It was really kind of a shove out of bounds, but all of a sudden they said, "Yep, it's confirmed," and he's disqualified. So always disappointing, especially because it leaks into the next game too when it's in the second half. So just a kind of a tough deal.
It's tough too. And so I went back and watched, and yes, he did leave the ground. The crown of his helmet hit the side of the helmet of the UNI runner, and then he pushed him with his hand. Dang. And that's So
all right,
personal in my personal unprofessional opinion, I don't expect it to be waived.
I got you. Yep. All right. Anything else on defense, guys? We didn't talk about this much in the previous show, but their run game was really their quarterback, and he is mobile enough and slippery enough to get yards, and he did get some. I know he didn't go over 100. I think he maybe had 60 or 70, but he was basically their run game. And
absolutely,
yeah. So I thought we did a pretty good job containing him. He did get away a couple times, but overall, I would say we did a pretty good job there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Mitch, you mentioned it on the preview show a little bit too, but their run game with running backs had not been good, and that showed
non-existent.
Yeah, that showed again. It looks like both running backs averaged 2.5 yards a carry. 8 carries and 6 carries respectively. But yeah, really the only rushing production they had was from their quarterback, and that was mostly kind of backyard football type stuff at the end where he's kind of improvising. It's not any designed run by any means for him. So overall, I agree with you. I think we did a nice job containing the run game, and that I think that helped our defense out a lot.
That is wild. So it's kind of crazy to look at our rushing just on ESPN. I'm kind of going back, and I like to look at the stats players wise, and we had quite a few people actually run the ball. We had 6 people run the ball technically, if you count Aiden's 2 sacks, but 5 if we don't. They only had 2 running backs run the ball and their quarterback, and it's such a short list.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, I mean, 2.5 yards for the running backs, and in reality, obviously we had 4 sacks, so that really destroyed some of the yards for their quarterback, but he still averaged 3.8 yards.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna move on, guys. Shout outs. I'm gonna give shout outs tonight because we had some special teams play, really good special teams play in this game, and we're gonna start with Mason Kogel, tight end, right? This kid, he's still young, and we got obviously Matt's always in here, and Matt was with us at the game, so this was a pretty cool moment. But taking that kick return, guys, right before half, and line drive, and he snagged it out of the air. Ducked it, started running, right? He gets 10 yards and goes to slide and just gets walloped and gets gets a 15-yard penalty, which sets up the Zeke Mata field goal right before half. So I thought that was a really cool one.
Hey, you know what? A 25-yard kick return is one of the longest returns of the season so far. So he's right up there.
There you go. He took one for the team.
He took one.
He did for sure. And like you said, it's fun, sitting next to Dad. When that's going on too. Or sorry, he wasn't sitting next to us yet.
He wasn't there yet.
Yeah, he wasn't there yet, but we were all excited for it. But Mitch, if you can highlight RJ's first comment about the strange timeout, because I think this is a good segue to talk about this.
Go ahead.
Because this particular return set up what it was the 58-yard field goal for Mata right before half. So again, we're we kind of joke about the 25-yard return, but as we look back now, that was humongous for this.
Mhm.
That was probably
Yes, it
going to
was.
be a normal kick return, take a knee going to halftime, turned into 3 extra points here. But we all thought the same thing. What a strange timeout to take with 4 seconds left. I believe we had a penalty that
Mhm.
got
We
created
did.
a
I think
10-second
Fenner had a
runoff.
false start, if I remember right.
Yep.
Had
False
a-
start, 10-second runoff.
Had a false start, 10-second runoff. Should have been a run the clock as soon as it's set. But for some reason, you and I took a timeout there. I don't know if they were trying to get personnel out for a Hail Mary situation, but very interesting. And thank goodness for us, because it gave us time to get set up for that 58-yarder. Because can you imagine trying to kick a 58-yarder running a fire drill in 4 seconds to get it set up, snap the kick?
Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, there's no way. It's just going to be chaos.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a Hail Mary, and then the whistle blew, and the refs pointed at you and I for a timeout. And I was shocked. I don't know what the heck they were thinking on that one. Fans should definitely question what happened there.
I mean, it had to be like setting up. They just want to set up the prevent defense, right? I mean, what else could it be? Kick return. They want to return the. They want to return the. At that point, you're not thinking we're going to do a field goal, so they're probably not setting up like a return.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's also what happened. We talked about it, but Mata's trotted out there pretty late. So I think even coach was saying, well, we only have 4 seconds. We're just going to snap it, throw a Hail Mary and see what happens. But I think even coach was probably shocked to say, oh, they called a timeout. Well, actually, now we can go out there and do it. So a lot going on in a very short window. But again, we took full advantage of it, which is great to see.
Yeah. Yep. And then secondly, guys, Javion Phelps, he recovered the onside kick at the end, secured the dub. So, hey,
I feel like you're just making fun of the game from last year at UND.
But I got it a little bit. We're improving. We've improved from year to year.
I was having flashbacks. I was having flashbacks in the stand when they started lining up for the onside kick because I was at the UND game last year.
I hinted at that actually, standing next to you. And then last but not least, the officials, man. I think
you got to shout out the officials. They made it about themselves.
It was a ref show. So 20 penalties, 210 yards, 3 disqualifications for targeting, and 0 flags thrown for targeting. That's where it gets really messed. That's messed up.
That's a hell of a stat line for the officials.
Wow. You ready for this? They were only 70 yards away from matching you and I in total yards.
Perfect.
And they only did it in 20 plays.
You guys know I don't typically like to talk about refs in a game, but this, I'm trying to think of a game where I've seen more than 20 penalties, and the way they came out, like it was like crawling across broken glass in the fourth quarter trying to get through that thing with the penalties and the flow of the game. I mean, my goodness.
Okay, so second Affleck trivia question of the day. Find the last 20 penalty game. Okay, I'm kidding. That has probably happened this year, but
it's gross.
It's one of those. It was probably Maction.
I can go without another game like that.
Yeah,
regardless of the results. Please, let's just play football. Yeah.
Can we talk? Can I point out the one play that they didn't throw a flag on though?
Yeah, go ahead, because there was a couple of those.
Okay, well, shout out to the refs for actually keeping the flag in their pocket one time, because I'm 99% sure it was Caden Fry. Helped the D lineman grow a tail about 3 feet long on our touchdown to Fenner in the second half.
Yeah, that jersey stretched all the way out. I wish I had that photo, that screenshot. We could have put that up here. That was pretty crazy.
And I'm going to say this too. The other thing you're missing on the shout out is a picture of us three. No, you can laugh at this, but
we were on the first slide.
But we belong in the shout outs here because hold on. When you rewatch the game, they showed us twice. They showed us twice on the game. The next play on the first one, we scored the 3rd and 17 for a touchdown. They showed us after the coyote graphic or the coyote/coyote graphic.
Yep.
And then Fenner scored his touchdown in the second half. It was literally the next play.
Nice.
So every time they showed us on TV, we scored the next play.
That's perfect.
That is true. Somebody made that comment, took a picture of it and sent it to me, and they said, you look cranky. And I said, yeah, the Yotes had the ball, and it was 3rd and 17. You're damn right I was cranky.
Yep, a lot of that on Saturday.
Uh-huh.
All right. How about real quick, just where do the Yotes need to improve? We talked about penalties a little bit. I think, guys, I'll go first. Offense. We need more from the offense still. We're going to face tougher defenses than you and I, and specifically ones with better run defenses are coming. And so we got to get more out of the run game. We need that line to really own the line of scrimmage, number one. And number two is I'm not going to dwell on this a ton. I could do a whole episode on this, but play calling. Guys, we got to figure something out. I could make a whole list of stuff, but just don't like the play calling that we saw on Saturday.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think we've talked about this. Like, when we talk about offense, like, yes, it was a little bit more efficient, but at the end of the day, the points got to get up on the board. And I think we think about the last two games, 19 and 17 points. Mitch, to your point, that's not going to get it done the next 4 weeks. That's just the bottom line.
It's not going to be enough.
That's not going to be enough against these next 4 teams. So got to find ways to get points on the board, whatever that looks like. But I would agree with you, Mitch. It seems like we haven't hit a lot of games where we've had a lot of good flow on offense outside of the first drive. For whatever reason, we seem to have really good flow on the first drive. We saw that the last 3 weeks. I believe opening drive touchdowns all 3 weeks. Somebody can check me on that. But then for whatever reason after that, the game flow just never really comes together, right? So we got to find a way to replicate whatever's happening in that first drive. And I know there's some scripted play type stuff that you get the advantage of in the first drive, but we got to find ways to score because, yeah, like we said, that there's just not enough points. Again, what's coming in the next 4 weeks, you got to find a way to manufacture points, whatever that looks like.
Yeah, and part of that is just maybe a little less predictable, I guess, is where I'm going with it, and taking a few more shots, because it seems like when we take them recently, we've been hitting them, especially with Fenner, and so I'd like to see some more of that, just letting it rip.
Now this one, I'm going to just say, Yote fan, is a little tricky because it's really under the shout out there for the officials. They did not make it easy for us to stay in those third and manageables. So that's just something, for the most part, it felt like when LJ's on our third and it's usually pretty manageable on third down. But I am going to chuckle at you guys a little bit because when the play calling did get different, you still complained. Who runs a screen pass on third and long?
Yeah, I didn't like the wide receiver screen on 3rd and 18 or whatever that was, and I didn't like the receiver reverse on 4th and 1 either. So those could be thrown out the window. We've got LJ. Let's just pound it on that 4th and 1 or fall forward with Aiden. I don't like the shotgun look either. We're not the only team that does that. There's a lot of teams that do that on 4th and 1 and they're out of the shotgun. I hate that.
Yep.
When I was cranky, I wanted to punt it on 4th and 1, so I don't even know if my opinion's valid. I said punt it and make this team stinks. This offense can't score. Punt them, pin them deep. But
I'll say, so with that 4th and 1 in that situation, and obviously I rewatched it, it will be LJ was not getting it. He had 3 running backs or 3 defensive players in his face basically by the time before he got to the line of scrimmage. And had our tight end made contact, you guys would have been praising how creative that play was on his block.
Okay.
So
that's a lot of what ifs.
No, LJ wasn't getting it. You pull up the film. He was not going to get that 4th and 1. For how great he is, he can take on 2 guys. 3rd or 4th makes it a lot more difficult, especially behind the line of scrimmage. But it was right there. It was so close. The defender was just a little too far for the tight end and beat him to the corner. The wide receiver screen pass was a little tricky, though. Not a fan of that one.
All right. Yeah, what else? Anything else Yotes need to improve?
No, I think we already hit on it, but the penalties. And in my opinion, that's a pretty easy thing to fix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pre and post snap penalties, I think, are the most fixable and things that can happen overnight. So again,
you watch, we're going to come home and we're going to have like 2 or 3 penalties a game. We're going to have home cooking and it's going to be completely different. That's what I was going to say.
Comes back to these next 4 opponents. We know what the rest of the schedule looks like and the quality of opponents. Like 10, you can't spot a good team 100 penalty yards and think you're going to win the game. So I think we clean it up pretty quickly because now that it's happened 2 weeks in a row, I have a feeling coaches are really going to make that a point of emphasis. And I think that gets cleaned up quickly. So I'm not too worried about that.
And then question in the chat here that I want to hit on from Peter. It's as close to being a sold out without being a sold out. I don't think that it's officially announced, but 75 tickets left.
Singles only left.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like 60 or so singles, and they're just sporadic. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'd call it a sellout without it officially listing as a sellout.
Yep.
So yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited to see the team grow. It's definitely a huge learning opportunity. Take us into the home stretch.
I'm gonna take us to the final segment here. Players of the game, sponsored by the Carney family. And right off the bat, guys, this one again, pretty easy week to pick these, but that connection of Aiden to Fenner is really, really starting to heat up. And so you got to go them on offense. On defense, Nate Ewell, he had a monster game. And then obviously special teams, you got to go Zeke.
Absolutely. And you know what? 3 weeks in a row, Kyle has won special teams player of the week for Missouri Valley. And we have yet to have a repeat winner.
Yeah, we've been having some pretty good special teams play lately, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, I was so pumped up for him, and just being as close as we were to not just the field but the players. It was really cool. It made that kick even more special for us to enjoy as well. So shout out to Zeke. It was a bomb.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like we said, guys, he'd go 60 plus. If it's in the dome, if it's indoors anywhere, I'm comfortable at 61 even with him. But outdoors,
and give him full rhythm going into the kick. Don't do a fire drill.
Right. Outdoors maybe changes that a little bit, but yeah, indoors in a dome, absolutely.
Tailwind at 65.
That's what I was going to say. I'm hearing tailwind, takes us to 65. Breaking college records.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, I think you nailed it with these players of the game. They all showed out, and heck, you could even slip that Mikey in the background there too. Player of the game. He continues to grow. Outside of that one long play where he was inside the kicker's net on the other side of the field, but that wasn't on him. That was on a cheap shot from behind on the UNI wide receiver. He had a fantastic game. So it was fun. This is a game that I will not forget. I know it's 17-14. It was nothing special, but it was pretty special to me on that one.
Absolutely. Glad we made the trip, guys.
Yeah. So
agreed. It's
shout out
all right.
A shout out to Grant to FOMOing us into a
great idea, Grant.
I'm glad I could bully you guys into doing what I wanted. But
anything else, guys? Players of the game, kind of wrapping this up. We'll be back Thursday night. Can't wait to get into the homestand, right? Because we've got 3 awesome weeks coming and very, very meaningful games, and they only get bigger as the weeks go. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I'll start the petition now, but make plans now to get yourself to the Dome on Saturday, right? This is the 3-game homestand. I tweeted it out. The team's done their part. They went on the road, got 2 gritty road wins. They're rewarded by coming home. So we got to make sure that dome is full to make sure that they feel at home, right? Playing for it. So 3 humongous games coming up. So plan accordingly, Coyote fans.
Peter,
take this, Jake. I know you're going.
Well, no, I'm just gonna say this. This is the first time in probably forever you'll actually catch me saying, "Take this game by game." I am a fan of looking ahead. I love talking about it. But give me Illinois State, and I can believe we beat UND. Give me UND, and I believe we can beat State. Give me State, and I can guarantee we win on the road against a ranked opponent. And so it is literally one of those games. Just give me the next game, and then I will tell you where we're at from there.
Hey, we're officially on a win streak, guys, so don't let the Yotes get hot coming down the stretch.
Hey,
we're already starting to pop up, and we're starting to pop up in the polls again. You're seeing some receiving votes. You're seeing us in the stats perform move up. You've got guys that got us right on the outside of the top 25, so don't let the Yotes get hot. And we've got a perfect opportunity coming home.
Pretty sure that back door is still open.
3 in a row, 5 out of the last 6. I don't know.
We're wide open.
I don't know.
All right, perfect. Well, hey, let's flip that slide. Yeah, get those guys up there and let's go to that last slide. I know
Matt,
what you got.
Ray. Yeah, appreciate you guys. Can't wait to see everybody at the homestand.
Let's do it. See you guys all at home.
Can't wait.
Go
Go Yotes.